Who invited these jigaboos? I'm sorry, but you really...
Jigaboos is hilarious. I'm sorry, folks. It has been a while since I have heard jigaboos. Thank God that jigaboos is finally back on the damn table. Oh, this is gonna be good. Okay. We're gonna let her cook. Okay.
can't take certain, folk places. Sometimes you just can't take them.
Black. It's the word you're looking for. That's their word. They say black, right? Black. Yeah, this ain't black, but that's what they say. That's what they say.
Nowhere nice. You can't have a good time with certain black people. And nobody wants to say that part out loud because immediately it's like you're racist.
I will. I'll say it. There are more black folks who are tired of black folks than anybody else. And that sounds crazy because a lot of folks are just tired. Well, okay, let me differentiate. I love black people, but I hate ninjas. My apologies to the ninja community, but you catch what I'm throwing. Not you ninjas.
It's respectability politics. It's all of these. How about no? It's just that ghetto blacks have a tendency to ruin all the fun. They're confrontational. They're constantly living in this sort of state of fight or flight. They can't settle. They can't live in peace. They're always like, who said what about who? Where's my gun? Where's my this? Where's my that? Let me get to shooting in this.
I'm gonna pop a cap in somebody's ass. That's what you're trying to say. That's what you're trying to say. I have seen guys square up in the middle of the street because one of the dudes glanced like this. Watch my eye contact. Y'all saw that right there? Look, one more time. That right there was the causation of a whole entire altercation. That's why I made a decision at a very young age. I'm staying away from ghetto events, period. I want to be around other black people who think like me. Those are the black folks I want to be around who are like, I don't want the ghetto. I don't want any of that. I don't, none of that. I want kombucha. You understand me? You know who kombucha is? Kombucha is like no, that's ghetto. I'm cool with that energy right there. I'm sick and tired of having to enable and stand up for and explain see what happened. No, we're done with the nignog behavior. Everybody else was done with their nignog behavior. The Italians, they're done with their nignog behavior. The Irish, hopefully y'all are done with y'all nignog behavior, right? The Asians, the Chinese that came to America, done with their nignog behavior. They put them to the side. They discarded that energy, said, you are holding us back. You're holding us back. They try to say black conservatives are holding them back. That people like this lady here, who I'm going to let cook, is holding black people back. Really? The one diagnosing your dis-ease, your doctor is the one who's holding you back? Gotcha. Continue, ma'am.
It's supposed to be a party where you just go, have some little foods, have some little drinks, have a little music, have a good time. Some Shaquafala or some Pookie Ray Ray decided to, stir the pot, I guess. It's inevitable whenever you get a group of these types of ghetto blacks in one place. They always got to mess up the fun for everybody. You can't take them nowhere. Sorry, but nobody else wants to say it. Y'all are actually embarrassing. I am embarrassed and I wasn't even there. I'm not even I'm in New York. And I can feel.
She got secondhand. I got third-hand embarrassment. I'm embarrassed for her being embarrassed about the embarrassment. It's embarrassing.
The embarrassment. I feel like I need to hide. Like I don't want to be seen right now because it's embarrassing. Now, in the comment section of certain videos regarding the Memphis trail ride, if you can call it a trail ride, you had black people down there like apologizing for it. Like, oh, they were just having a good time. They showed up to the party and they had a time. It's you. It's blacks like you who kind of apologize for this behavior rather than calling it out and checking it and holding those.
Somebody get a hold of sis. Let's get her on the show because I've probably made 150, 200 videos on just that right there. to the point where I done a whole 20-some minute recently on the enabling culture in black culture. There's the enabling aspect of the culture. Nobody else can talk. There's people who I've seen on video talk about, you can't talk about black people. Nobody can talk about black people. You can't even look at black people. You can't even say anything about black people, because if you say something about black people, you are racist. And I'm like, okay, so if nobody can ever correct you, then you are uncorrectable. And I guess that's the end goal. The end goal is to be the uncorrectable, the unapproachable, undisputed heavyweight champion of ghetto ridiculousness. And when people are really, truly done with you, because fatigue is tired, there's a capacity for you to rest or to no longer be exposed to the outside stimulus that is the causation of your fatigue. You have a job that you hate. You're working that job, toiling away. You can actually get out of that job and get yourself into something that you're more aligned with, that you resonate with, that feeds your energy centers as opposed to deprives you of energy, right? That's a choice you can make. When you have a group of people who continues to insert themselves in such a way, your fatigue turns into ultimate burnout. Your burnout, chronic burnout, then damn near turns into death. You're dead to them now. When somebody says you're dead to me, right? When somebody says something like that, or when they just stop saying anything at all, they just stop caring. You're not even in the conversation. That's a terrifying place to be. Most humans would rather have somebody be angry, frustrated, feel something about them than feel nothing at all. And that's the place it's now getting. It's going to get to the point of like complete apathy. Complete apathy. We don't give up. Y'all ain't got no jobs. Y'all ain't got no way to sleep. Your children are starving. All of that going on. All them programs, the this, that, and the third, social, all that is going to be gone because nobody will care. Not even the pandering liberals, not even the pandering Democratic plantation, because they got them a new audience. They're called illegal immigrants, and they're fighting hard for them. Fighting hard for them. The same way they used to fight for you back in 1960. 1970, when you were still a population that mattered to them politically. They're not going to care anymore. And so if it's not accountability internally and the accountability isn't allowed externally, we're going to get to that point. Let's let her finish the meal off, shall we?
Responsible for it, accountable. Bring back shame, just a little bit of shame. Small shame in society would put a stop to stuff like this happening. But we don't have shame anymore. That's the issue. Black Americans, especially ghetto blacks, they're the one group of people who you are not allowed to shame, no matter what they do, because systemic oppression and white man and all these other stupid things. You're not allowed to critique them at all. They can't help their behavior. It's because of, historical oppression or whatever stupid thing they make up. I'm not above reproaching my kindred where need be. This is one of the places where it's needed. Y'all are embarrassing. Y'all look like barnyard animals. Get it together. Seriously.
You made it out of the suburbs into the barnyard. And with all that, they're going to blame the record label. Well, see, it's actually the white man and the Jewish man who started a record label and really put our people into insubordinations. Why the hell were there people willing to sell that music in the first place? Why is there an audience for Sexy Red and Future? Why do they exist in the first place? The audience was already there. A profiteer is going to profit anywhere. They saw you selling your own people destruction, and they wanted to be a part of that. But the CIA, let's talk about the CIA planted this and that. The CIA could do what they did because you already had a fragmented society where the fathers were missing, and that was being promoted. Where all of a sudden, one of the highest married together groups, lowest out of wedlock birth groups, was now accepting the foolishness of liberalism, feminism, everything but a godism, and look where you find yourself. And now you got random black folk on the internet just talking about we're tired, boss. We don't give a damn about being called sellouts. We don't give a damn about being called Uncle Tom's, agents of white supremacy. We don't give a damn about none of it anymore. We're probably more over it than most, honestly. We've gotten to the place where it's like it's now apathy. We just don't want to be around it. We just don't want to. We want nothing to do with it. You know, I lived in a small town for a little bit. I moved back with my folks for a little bit of time when I was getting myself situated, finally stepping into my purpose and building this out. So shout out to the folks for allowing me to have a place to come back and just really build. Y'all the real ones. You guys will always have, you guys will always be taken care of. Just know that. But I moved into a small town. For the first time in my life, I'm living there, having my day in, day out life. And it's a majority white town, maybe 75% white. I think maybe like 15, 20% Hispanic or something. And a small minority of black folks. And almost every time I ran into another black folk, they would look at me, especially older black women. They'll look at me almost like they're gauging me. And then I would maybe say something, oh, hello, whatever it is. And, okay. And then all of a sudden when they realized the type of timing I was on, right, that I wasn't one of these ghetto black folks, you would just see a smile on their face, like a relief. You know what I mean? More so than any of the white folks I ever met. White folk, it was whatever. They said, hey, how you doing? Oh, you knew her. All of a sudden, the next day, they come over, sit next to me like we've been chummed up for the last 55 years. Black folk, because they probably moved out of the ghetto environments and went somewhere where they didn't have to deal with the ghetto nonsense. And so, they're looking at me like, especially a young black dude. It's like, okay, don't know him. Who's, is this Charlie's son or the nephew or what? And then, okay, all right, yeah, okay. Well-spoken and, somewhat hopefully put together and about something. Okay. No shiesty on and nothing like that. Okay. All right, we can do that. We can do that now. That right there is symptomatic. That right there is cause and effect. There's racism of those who are insecure, who are fearful, who are, psychopathic in some sort of way, who are just evil and look to project that onto others. But then there's a sort of quote unquote racism or prejudice that comes from observation. I said it. Sometimes it comes as a result of people seeing something over and over again and creating an assumption based on that. And I say, though I may be even included in the people that are stereotyped, can you blame them? Can you blame them? So that's why we have to do better. That's why it has to be in-house and out-house policing. Open yourself up. Stop being so damn prideful and let people speak into your life. Call us what you want. Call us what you want. But the ones who love you enough are going to speak out. The ones who really done with you, they're living in a 99.9999999% others community right now, and you will never see them again. They're spending their money there. They're loving it, living La Vida Loca, mimosas. Like they're living a whole different life. They done left the damn country just so they can deal with a different degree, a different mentality completely. They done made their way around the damn globe just to get away from that mentality. It is still at a place where there is somewhat of a fixability and that ain't no damn word. Is it fixability? Maybe it is. There's still a chance for it to be fixed. But who knows? Maybe we're crying out in the wilderness just to get the last few people on the boat and then the flood comes. Maybe that's what's going to happen. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there, or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace. Aquarius. Where? for hours, I've been up for days, yeah. Staring at the ceiling, I've been counting strays, yeah. I've been in my feelings, I've been out of mind. I've been getting visions of the other kind. Yeah, I've been up for weeks. I'm in the counting blessings over counting sheep. I can never be the type to limit when it comes to me. I used to be the pleaser for the people.